Well, now we're at the screen, and hopefully we can get a better image on camera, and therefore you can see in this video. So I'm going to minimize my webcam software as we're recording. And as the desktop bridge opens up, we can see that we have all sorts of choices in which we can open up into Bridge. And of course, going to my computer, and I'm working off my C drive right now, which is just my hard drive on the computer. You may have an external. I can open up that C drive, and I can now go to Phototest and be able to open up Phototest. Here's the file, and now the images that we have seen, I'm going to move that to film strip, and of course minimize that, and we can see, of course, a little bit better image of that photo that we took in the movie. And here we are utilizing the natural lighting within this space. Now, one thing is with Adobe Bridge, we have a great deal of options in manipulating Bridge and moving images between areas. But I'm going to show you a little bit about Camera Raw and utilizing Camera Raw. And I'm going to open up one of these fine images that we shot under the flash unit, and I can now go to this little icon, open in Camera Raw, and I can open up that digital negative into Camera Raw. And here I have on my menu many tools, target adjustment tools, color samplers, white balance tools. And white balance tool, here I can simply click and white balance depending upon the area that I want the whitest balance to come from. And you can see that's changing. Of course, we want to go to the brightest, whitest balance, but I have now a variety of choices in here where I can manipulate temperatures, where I can manipulate exposures in that file. And you can see by moving that temperature, here is the color temperature, 7450 Kelvin, 6150 Kelvin. I can recover blown out whites in my exposure and fill lights, brightness, contrast. I can add clarity to this, vibrance, and remember we talked a little bit about saturation. Now these are non-destructive ways of manipulating within Camera Raw. I have many other choices, tone curves that I can work with, and I can do sharpening, noise reduction, luminance, and can even work in converting to a grayscale here if I wanted to, and do a grayscale mix, or change hues within depending upon the colors that we have in the image, split tonings, lens corrections, effects that we want to achieve. Now usually in Camera Raw we go from left to right in our manipulation and from top to bottom. Now of course we can save that image, or we can then open that image, and that image then is opened into Photoshop. A PSD file or a native Photoshop file is created, and we can see Photoshop CS5 extended opening, and as it opens the image will show up within Photoshop, and then we can do manipulation in Photoshop if we're interested, and it should come up any second now. And then when we save this image, we still maintain the original DNG. The digital negative doesn't change once we go to save this. Now, of course, there are a variety of things we can do in Photoshop. We have a tool bar as well as menus. If we wanted, we could apply filters to this. We could make adjustments. For example, we could use photo filters to make adjustments, and use traditional photo filters, or we can make other manipulations within there. So for now, getting a little noisy outside the studio, and we're going to shut down our webcam software, and we'll be back with more information for you. Good shooting.